Hi everyone, so before we start this video off, I just want to let you guys know that there's this really annoying noise coming from my mic, and it's because I got a new one. It's like this, it sounds kind of like it's like like you can hear like the tracking in my camera, like when it tracks my face, or it's like trying to like zoom in or something. I don't know what it is. It's the mic. I thought I had fixed it from the last video, and then I filmed right now, and then I'm looking at the footage, and you can just hear the sound. I'm going to try to drown it out with background music, but I am so sorry. Like I swear I thought that I had fixed the problem from the last video, but I think that I'm just gonna have to buy another mic. Anyways, I just wanted to let you guys know that I am so sorry. I know that it can be really annoying. I'm going to try to make sure that this does not happen for the second video, but again, I just wanted to say that I'm so sorry about that. So yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, if you guys can tell by the title of today's video, I am doing a review of the Morphe R. Oh no, R. Why do I keep saying R? Each time I do this intro, I keep calling it the R1 palette. I don't know what is wrong with me. It's the 35I Icy Fantasy palette, and it looks like this. It's very pastel-y and aesthetically pleasing from the outside. This is actually a collab with Pony Park. Now, before I get into the looks, which I am doing 3, you guys know I like to do like multiple looks so you guys can get a feel of the palette. I'm gonna give you guys a bit of information of the palette. This has 35 cool shadows. I'm not gonna swatch all of them because there's just too many of them, but it's 35 shadows. It consists of a lot of mattes and shimmers, and it has a glittery like it's a pressed glitter shadow in it, and this retails for $25, and I believe it's already out. Oh no, it goes live January 16th. Palette, there is a lipstick set. It's a matte lipstick set, and that one retails for $18. I'll make sure to have like a little swatch video up here somewhere. For the net weight of the palette, it is 56.2 grams, 1.98 ounces, and the shelf life is 12 months. And then for the lipsticks, the net weight is 3.5 grams, 0.12 ounces, and the shelf life is 12 months on. So that's pretty much the information on the palette and the lipsticks. I will make sure that I leave all of this info in the description down below if you guys want to check that out. So now we'll get into this review because it's kind of lengthy. Okay everyone, so for all 3 looks, I always prime my eye with the Anastasia eye primer. It looks like this, so that's what I'm gonna do right now, very quickly. This eye is very easy. As you guys can see, I already like did the other eye. I always like to do the other eye just because it saves time, and because I talk so damn much, and I don't want to make these videos too long for you guys. I feel bad for you guys that you guys have to watch long ass videos. I know some of you guys actually watch, I mean, I know that some of you guys like watching longer videos, so never mind. I'm not sorry. By the way, you guys say that you guys get annoyed when I say like sorry all the time. I can't help it. I was about to just say I'm sorry. Like, it's just in me. I'm always a very like I'm sorry like apologetic person. It can be very annoying, so I understand what you guys mean. I swear I'll try to like not say sorry so much, okay? Like I get it, okay? I get it. All right, so let's get into this Morphe palette because I have a lot to say. So I know it's a pastel palette, but I was trying to use like most of the shadows in this palette, so I am going to take like this little gray section right here. You guys will see 2 colorful shadows using the pastel shades, so like just to let you know, like I do use the pastel shades in this palette, but I wanted to use most of the shadows in this palette, and this is a big ass palette, so I couldn't use all of them. So I'm going to take this gray shadow right here. It looks like this, and what I want to do with this shadow is I'm going to place it right here. I'm going to use this to like kind of like smoke out the outer edge of the eye and then bring it outwards, because that's what I did on this side. And I would use like tape, but I just didn't use any tape. I do have a little bit of fallout. That's fine. Fallout is pretty normal. This palette had a lot of fallout with the pastel shades, and you guys will see that. I feel like that's pretty normal when it comes to pastel shadows, because pastel shadows are very light colors, so a lot of light colors tend to have a lot of fallout in the pan, so you will see that in the video. Now I will say that the gray color is pretty pigmented, as you guys can kind of see. but you guys will see my thoughts within the next 2 looks, and they kind of change, you know what I'm saying? They kind of change. Like this look was very, very cute, but we get into like the pastel looks, and you will see that it was just like, you definitely have to build up the colors to get the pigmentation. Now don't get me wrong, that usually happens a lot with pastel shadows because again, they're very, very light, so you definitely need to build up your color. But I had a lot of trouble building up these pastel shades for sure, and again, you will see that in like the upcoming looks that I do. So just stick around and watch, you know what I'm saying? But so far I'm having no trouble with the grays. They were very like fairly easy to use, and I'm just blending this in. This is a Makeup Shack brush. It doesn't have a name. It actually came in an essential brush set. But I do have a code with them. It's code Rocio for 20% off, and I do make a small commission off of it, just to let you guys know that as well. Blending that, I think that's pretty decent. Okay guys, then I'm going to take this lighter like gray color right here. Is it this one? Yes. If you guys can see, it kind of has like, when you dip into it, it definitely has like a bit of fallout. Not a bit, it has a lot. Like I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a huge like fan of Morphe palettes, because although yes, the price is great and some palettes are actually like really decent, like most of their palettes are just like, I don't know, like the quality is not consistent. Their brand is not consistent. Like for example, like the James Charles palette, like that palette was like really good, but like a lot of their palettes are not consistent. Like how do you go from the James Charles palettes like being pretty good to this one that is not like, it's not the best quality? And I don't mean like, I try not to ever bash, I'm gonna be honest, I try not to ever bash brands. I always try to give them constructive criticism. So for me, it's like, I don't want anyone to take it the wrong way, but it's like a brand needs to be consistent with their shadows, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, like you will see like a lot of my thoughts in the next 2 looks, because the shimmers, girl, they were not it. So again, I'm just packing on this lighter gray shadow onto the eye. This is another Makeup Shack brush. Again, it doesn't have the name, I'm so sorry. It's a part of that like brush set. And then I'm gonna go back and just blend this out. And then since I did use like some of the shimmers in the next 2 looks, I wanted to use this like gray, it's like a glittery pressed glitter. So I'm just gonna actually pick it up with my finger. Like please pick up pressed glitters with your finger, because with brushes it just doesn't work. And I'm going to put this in the inner corner of my eye, just like so. And I actually really like that pressed glitter. You guys would like, if you guys know me, or if you guys watched my last video, I really don't like pressed glitters. I find them kind of hard to work with, but this one is actually really nice. And I'm just gonna put it up here as well and just blend it with the other colors. And this is a fairly easy look to do. Okay you guys, so I already did the waterline. I just put that darker gray in there, and now I'm going to do my inner corner. If you guys can see, I put the white shadow from the palette, which you guys will see right now. I'm just gonna grab one of these like star stickers that I use for my inner corner and stick it right here. And now I'm going to grab this Morphe E62 brush, and this shadow, oh my gosh, you guys, it has a lot of fallout. You see that? You see the dust? That's a lot of fallout. I know again, like some of you guys probably don't care, but it was that she's really dusty. And this one, you freaking have to build it up, or else like literally there's nothing there. Like once I press in like the shadow, and you guys saw me pick up a lot of that shadow, there's really not much there. You have to keep building this white shadow up, and that's exactly what I mean by the fact that they're not consistent. Like the James Charles like white shadow, it's actually a really decent shadow. This white shadow, I don't understand. Like I have to keep building this up. So yeah, I'm sorry Morphe, I'm really trying not to be a meanie. I'm not a meanie. Like again, like I give constructive criticism, and I think that my constructive criticism is nowhere ever like near mean. I really just like to like give constructive criticism, and I think that it's fair, you know what I'm saying? So I will never bash a brand. I will always give constructive criticism. And I think I've said that word a lot, you know. Pretty much it that I'm going to do, because the more that I build this color, the more I end up kind of like disappearing. So I'm just gonna move on. I'm going to go ahead and remove it. Ooh, come on. I mean, you could still see the stars, which is great, but it's not the most opaque white. Okie dokie. Lashes, I'm going to put on the Colored Rain Lashes in Bossy. They look like this. They are huge as hell, but they are so, so pretty. Alright, you guys, so this is the completed look. It's really, really nice. I do like this look out of like all three of them, even though I really, really enjoy color. I do like specifically this look. I think I like it because I actually had like an easier time with this look and these particular shadows than the other two looks. All right, you guys, so I am using this pastel purple. I think you guys will hear, you guys have probably already heard my thoughts on the shadows. These definitely take a lot of building up. I understand that like pastels are very light, but again, these, like, I had to keep on building them. And yeah, and then I'm gonna take this blue, and if you guys saw, this blue had so much fallout, and usually that is pretty normal for pastel shades because again, they're very, very light. But this one, again, I had to build up so much for it to get like a decent amount of light coverage. So yeah, and then I picked up this one. Again, it had so much fallout. Again, it's just because they're pastels and they're very, very light. So that's just a normal thing. But they were pretty chalky. These mats were very chalky, as you can see in the center of like my lid and in the corner of my eyelid. You can see that they kind of just like separate and they're very chalky. And then I added this like light the shimmer green in the corner, and then this kind of like pinkish shadow in the waterline. And she was cute. She looked a little chalky on my waterline. And then I picked up this, it was kind of yellow in the pan. It was like a yellow very off yellow shadow in the corner. And then here is the finished look. I'm sorry that my camera zooms in on my lashes, but if you guys can see, like, the shadows kind of separated. Oh, but yeah, this is the second look, and we'll move on to the third look. Alright, you guys, so here is the final third look. I just created like a little wing shape type of thing for this eye look. And yeah, I used the Anastasia Beverly Hills eye primer to do this with. So I wanted this look to be like the look that I use like a lot of the shimmers in the palette. This is a big palette, so I tried to use as many shimmers as I could. And I used the green, and the shimmers are not my favorite at all. Even if you were to wet your brush, if you guys can see, they are very crumbly and they were very, very difficult to pick up like in the pan. And I know that Morphe has some shimmers that are actually really, really good, but these shimmers were not the best at all. They weren't even like you had to build them up so much, and even when you build them up, they started to get like very crumbly and like fall apart and separate. And they were just not my favorite at all. But anyways, I created like a gradient. If you guys see in this purple, like, I had such a hard time picking up the purple from the pan. They're like either pressed too hard into the pan, which kind of could be a bad thing, just because again, you can't pick them up. I do not recommend wetting these shimmers at all. It's not gonna work out. I just no. And then I picked up this like kind of orange shade, and I put it on the outer portion. I try to create like a gradient again because I wanted to use like the shimmers in this palette. And I created like a little small wing. Yeah, there are like a couple of different shimmers in this palette. There's some that are like this one that I use on my eyebrow. I really, really liked it. This one seems like it's not pressed into the palette that hard. It's a little bit looser, but the other ones that were on my eyelid, they were really pressed into the pan. But here is the final look, and that's pretty much it. We will go into my final thoughts. But we are at the end of the road, and here are my final thoughts. I don't really recommend this palette. Actually, I don't recommend it. I think that it's a beautiful palette, and I was like, when I first seen it, I was like, wow, finally something that I'm actually like interested in purchasing, because it's beautiful. Like the packaging is like really intriguing. It like grabs you in, and then like you open it and it's beautiful like oops, oh my gosh, sorry. Like you have really beautiful pastel shades, and it's just like an inviting palette like it is when you have it in person. Like like online, I know people were kind of like, eh, this is boring, but like when you have it in person, you see it in person, it's actually very beautiful because of the pastel shades in this. From what you guys saw from like the 3 like looks that I did, I had a lot of trouble building up these shades. Again, they are pastels, so I understand that these are lighter, but no one should have like so much trouble building up these pastel shades, even if they are light. For example, I know you guys have seen me use the Sugar Pill pastel palette that they came out with, and the Strobe Cosmetics, which is now, I believe it's called something else, I'm sorry, but the Strobe Cosmetics Creepy Cute pastel palette. I have one from Blush Tribe, and all of those 3 palettes, I never have not one issue with those pastel shades. They are consistent, they are very pigmented. I do not have to build them up that much. Like they are just really great pastel palettes that I highly recommend. With these ones, I had a lot of trouble building up the color. Like they started kind of like separating on my eye, and I want to be honest, like maybe it could have been my eye primer, but my eye primer usually doesn't ever do that to like my shadows. I just had a difficult time with them. And then moving on to the shimmers were not good at all. They were pressed too hard into the pan, which made them really hard to pick up. I had to like dig my brush into them, and then when I placed them on the shadows, because I had to keep building up the shimmer, it started to like crumble a little bit. I feel like they lacked a lot of pigmentation. I don't know what it is with Morphe palettes, but their consistency in palettes is just not there at all. And the white shadow, like I like an opaque super white bright shadow. One that is really great, and I hope that they sell it individually one day, is the the Norina palette volume 1, and it's like C number 1, I think that's what it's called. That white shadow is so good. Another one is Sugar Pills Taco. That one has never failed me. So overall, like this palette is just not something that I would recommend. Yes, $25 is great, you get a lot of shadows. It's a huge palette, it's aesthetically pleasing, but it's just not like a palette that I would recommend you guys. I like I said in the video, I try not to be mean. I try to just like tell you guys how it is, and I have lipstick on my fucking teeth, but I'm just letting you guys know I'm faithful to you guys, not these brands. So it is what it is. Like I don't recommend this palette. But yeah, you guys, that's pretty much the end of this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I hope that you guys like these tutorials where I do multiple looks. I know so many of you guys have told me that you guys do. But yeah, that's the end of this video. I will make sure that I put all of the information in the link down below. So yeah, I will say one thing is that I actually liked the pressed glitter in this palette. I thought it was actually really good, and I thought like I didn't have any trouble like putting it in on the eyelids, so that like is a plus. Like it's good. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next tutorial. Bye guys.